Your personal data is a commodity. Everyone is buying it, everyone is selling it, and the bad guys are trading it, and it's a high value item.
She thought she was doing what I was asking her to do, but it's someone just pretending to be me.
Every app that you have is trying to access your personal data. So always be cognizant of what is in your pictures.
Hey, welcome back. This is James with Boss Security Screens, and this is MJ, expert of all things law enforcement or security related. And today we're talking about social media, security of social media.
Security of social media. Your personal data is a commodity. Everyone is buying it, everyone is selling it, and the bad guys are trading it, and it's a high value item. And you need to do everything in your power to make sure that you are protecting your personal data. And think of all of the things that you fill out online, all of the information that you submit, all of that's being tracked and it's out there. There are some services that are available so that you can try to scrub some of the information, your personal information, off of the dark web.
Have you tried any of those services?
I haven't tried them personally. I know they work well. But I do have a way of that I monitor for myself.
As a private investigator?
As a private investigator. There's just some things that I do for myself that I always make sure that I'm checking and looking for. And I have a host of databases I use as a private investigator to, kind of track these things. But for the consumer who doesn't have that kind of access, what you have is services that will help you scrub your personal information. But bad guys are out there trading your personal information like a commodity.
So personal info would be like age, phone number,
date of birth,
location,
address, places of ownership, anything that is connected to your identity, connected to your methods and modes of communication, your email addresses, your social media handles. Bad guys are surfing the web as much as anyone. And they're looking for those vulnerabilities. And so there's little things out there that we don't even think about. And I'm gonna probably talk into more than just the financial impact that comes into these things. Personal safety is another one. I'm gonna pick something simple. You are somewhere, you're taking a picture and you post it on social media. Hey, look at me, I'm here. A lot of times your camera embeds data inside this picture. Every picture has data.
Like location, time.
Location, time. I can reverse engineer those photos and find out exactly where you were.
So you have tools where you just drop the photo in there and it gives you the metadata.
And it gives you the metadata. I actually use that quite a bit in my private investigation. If I'm trying to find somebody, I had a guy that I couldn't find. I looked forever.
Found a picture.
And I found a picture that he posted and it was at a beach. And at this beach was a very unique sculpture. Very unique. And so I just put that sculpture in as a search engine and I checked it and it came back with a location. And then once I got the pictures of the location, I actually got the exact sculpture where they were at. And it was able to help me resolve that case. So there's a lot of information that gets posted that we don't even know about. Your location device on your phone, all that information is tracking you. Every app that you have is trying to access your personal data. I mean, that's a commodity again. And they have the ability in these lengthy agreements that we don't ever read, and we just click yes at the end because we want to get in and get to using it, but we forget to read all those disclaimers about what they do with your personal data. Now, some of that personal data is probably fairly benign, where it's not going to cause you a lot of issues. It's more for marketing purposes than it is for theft. But the problem is that we unsuspectingly and unknowingly, we give out a lot of our personal information, and that personal information gets used. Now, the other way the bad guys get this information is through data breaches.
Right.
So now you've got, say, your doctor's offices, your banks and financial institutions. All of those guys have a lot of data on us. And that data, once it gets stolen, I know personally that I get these notices all the time from companies that say, oh, you were part of 20 million people who just got compromised.
Right.
And that's a little unnerving.
Nonstop.
So one of the things that I would tell you to do is to make sure that you have a service that is monitoring your credit. If you're not going to monitor it yourself, go out there and put freezes on your credit, because that also is a free service.
That's
you
right.
can put a freeze on your credit, and it will also notify you when somebody's trying to use your personal data. But from a social media standpoint, think about all the information that you provide that you don't even know. I'm going to talk about children here. This is child safety now. We all love to post a bunch of pictures of our kids.
Right.
And a lot of times we'll have t-shirts from our school or from our church or from areas that are private to us.
Yeah. And
unbeknownst to us, we just broadcast it to the world that my student is a honor student. And what about those bumper stickers? I got an honor student at this school. It makes it very easy for bad guys to target a child and then know where to go and to narrow that search down rather quickly. And from a private investigator standpoint, I use all of those little clues that you put on your cars and on social media as means to track you. And so, the good thing is I'm one of the good guys. I'm on this side of the law. But if I was a bad guy and I took all the knowledge and skills that I have, which probably still even maybe pale in comparison to some of the bad guys, because they're really operating in that dark web, they're in the deep web, and they're out there doing all kinds of illegal activities, and they're always looking for vulnerabilities. Now, along the same lines of those vulnerabilities, think about router safety, internet safety. I am sure that businesses are keenly aware that they have to have very secure systems, encryption, to make sure that all the information you're transporting or transferring back and forth is secure.
Yeah, banking info, credit card info,
all of those
client
things.
info.
Client info. And we have to be very careful about that, because we don't want to send out an email that says, hey, I'm just letting you all know that my data was breached and all my customer information was compromised.
I like story time. So the more stories you can share, the better. And I'll just share one real quick.
Yeah, share one.
So in the spirit of data security, we had someone spoof me and contact an employee and say, don't tell anyone in the office, but I want to buy gift cards as a surprise. And she went down that path. Someone was pretending to be me. It looked like it was from me. And she was just trying to do what the boss was saying. And that person, whomever it was, said, hey, I want you to go out and buy like 5 gift cards. Don't tell anyone. It's going to be a surprise. And she did it. Hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars.
Yep.
She thought she was doing what I was asking her to do, but it's someone just pretending to be me. So
that's a very popular scam.
Is it?
It's still a very popular scam. And I think everybody's probably gotten some form of a text message. It'll say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. And that's all it says.
I get 3 of those a day.
Yeah, you get those all the time.
Yeah.
If you click into those or if you respond, you've got a real problem. If you don't put who you are, what this is about, and was I expecting this as a text message, I'm not going to respond back to you. No. And if you really want to get a hold of me, then you probably better call me.
You know how, right?
There's ways, if you know me, you know how to get a hold of me. So those scams are so prevalent, and I guess
so effective.
They're very effective. What surprises me is everybody knows about them. We're all ultra aware of them, but they still pull on the strings that make us curious.
Yeah, the human component there is the
They
weakest
prey
one.
on the human component.
Yeah.
And they'll say things that are too good to be true.
Right.
I don't know how many DeWalt tool sets I've won in the last 6 months, but apparently I'm the luckiest guy on the planet.
I've never got one of those.
But I get a lot of DeWalt tools.
I don't know, you let me know, but I think, say, an older generation that didn't grow up with computing, maybe they're more trusting, especially on a digital level. And then you have really young, like my 12-year-old, he's also very trusting. He hasn't been, put through the ringer on scams or whatever. So you have this older demographic, like senior citizens. They didn't grow up with computing, they're very trusting in general. So I feel they're an easy target for these scams. And a lot of these scams are automated. So it's not like one person sending one text. It's like a software that's referencing a database and sending out thousands of these a day. And you just need like a 2 or 3% response rate.
Absolutely.
Right, to make the numbers work.
And that data that we just talked about was obtained through phone numbers, through social media, email addresses, all of those things that the bad guys are getting a hold of is what they use against us.
Easily scraped.
Easily scraped.
Easily put in a database. Easily cross-referenced by another database. So I was looking at a tool. It's a cookie that resides on a website, and it tells you who's on your website. First name, last name, email, phone number, expected income, and expected residence. Because it's looking at who you are right now, your digital signature, and then it's starting to cross-reference these other databases that match up, and it can serve up this information.
And that goes to speak about the power of AI technology. AI technology, we've talked about it in some of the other segments. AI is changing the game in terms of access to information, the ability to process it quickly. And so that also creates not only vulnerabilities, but opportunities on the other side to help us gather information. So it's a two-edged sword.
Yeah, it is.
The technology has always been a two-edged sword. It works well for us to protect ourselves, but bad guys quickly learn to adapt, use that information, and then use it against you.
I think the scariest part here is how easily it scales, right? So if it were just one person attacking one person, that's not as bad as one person attacking 100 million people at the same time, right?
Exactly.
Just through like a push of a button. Here's an idea. Maybe there's no way to stop the tide. There's just too many databases out there. Maybe what we should do is pretend to be someone we're not.
Well, that has danger there, buddy. And I like where you're
I'm not really James Kerr.
I like where your head's going, but
pretend to be someone else.
Those can be dangerous games. So I don't know that I would advocate that for the average person. You'd have to be pretty tech savvy to make sure that you're
not who you seem you are.
That you're able to conceal that identity. One of the things that I also wanted to talk about is the dangers of social media, the pictures you post, not in terms of just your kids, but your personal assets. We take a lot of pictures around our home. We take pictures in front of our cars, in front of our Harley Davidson, whatever it is you have. You are advertising.
Broadcasting.
You are broadcasting. You're telling the world, this is what I own. All the pictures from inside your home, or, what you don't realize is that your safe is in the background. And now the bad guy just has to blow that photo up and he can see what kind of safe you have. Now he can go and research how to break into that safe. And then when he gets there, he already has the tools, he already has everything ready to go, and he is breaking into your system. So always be cognizant of what is in your pictures, what is in the background, what are you including that you don't even think about that you're including. It's that information that is dangerous, and it's that information that ultimately comes back to get you. So with that, we're going to go ahead and end our segment today. We always appreciate you guys tuning in and following along. If you have any questions of us, please reach out. Let us know. We also would love to hear about any topics that you would like us to cover specifically. But until then,
see you tomorrow.
We will see you again.